Yes, very good. Good evening to all of you, my dear students. Very good evening. So today we are going to start with the CPC. Okay, Civil Procedure Code. Today it is just an introductory class. I will be telling you that what are the elements, what is cause of action, right? I will be telling you the basics of CPC, right? We will be starting from basics only, right? First I will create the base and thereafter I will be building a tower on it, right? Okay. So in CPC, for that matter, in all subjects you need not have to go through all the sections or all the rules or all the orders, right? Okay, it is not necessary. What is required is that, suppose this is all CPC, right? This is 100%. So I will be taking care of 70%. Okay, I will be doing 70%. The rest 20% you have to do by yourself, and 10% is not that relevant for your exam purposes. I will be telling you that what is not relevant, what you may omit, and what you have to do by yourself, and what I will be doing it. Right? I will be telling you the whole scheme for this CPC. Okay, right? जो ये 20% है, it is not very difficult. You will be doing it by just a simple, a mere reading is required. That is only sufficient. But the rest of the 70% I will be covering that. Okay, it is clear. So ये जो 70% है, this is very important. Okay, maximum questions you will be getting from this 70%, and 20% also is very important. But for that, I believe you can do it by yourself also, right? Okay, so in CPC, tell me how many sections are there? How many sections are there? Tell me how many sections, how many orders are there? If we look for the, yes, Mansi, correct. How many sections are there? How many orders are there? All right, Shivani. Natisha, correct. Mansi, correct. So sections in total there are section 158, right? And in total the orders there are order 51. Okay, order 51, and order 21 is the lengthiest. Maximum rules are there, and in total in order 21 rules are order 21 rule 106. Okay, in order 21, 21 is basically for execution, so that is the lengthiest, right? बहुत बड़ा order 21. Okay, and over there the rules are 106. Okay, okay. So let me ask you a different question, another question, that civil procedure code CPC is coming under which list? List 1, list 2, or list 3 of the constitution, of the schedule 7? Yes, Gunjan, correct. Naveen, correct. Preeti, correct. Is it coming under the state list, union list, or concurrent list? Tell me. Yes, Preeti, correct. Shivani, correct. It is coming under which list? Concurrent. Yes, concurrent is correct. Why it is concurrent? Yes. देखो, why it is coming under concurrent? Because the state can also make the laws according to their state, right? And the union can also make the laws. So that is why both can make the laws. That is why it is coming under the concurrent list. So this is also sometimes asked, that CPC is coming under which list of the schedule 7? क्योंकि list that is given under schedule 7 of constitution, right? So it is coming under the concurrent list, right? So write down, write a basic point over here, that it is the parliament and the state legislature. It is the parliament and the state legislature which can legislate which can legislate upon civil procedure code, upon civil procedure code. However, if the parliament has already, however, if the parliament, if the parliament has already made the law that the state legislature, however, if the parliament has already made the law that the state legislature, that the state legislature can make a law only, can make a law only under the provisions of article 254, only under the provision of article 254 of constitution, right? So basically, if the parliament has made the law on that particular topic, on that particular subject, and the state legislature also wants to make a law on that particular topic or subject, then the state legislature cannot do it by its own. Rather, under article 254 of the constitution, they can do it, right? Okay, is it clear? So in CPC, as you all are saying that there are 158 sections, right? So CPC is divided among the sections as well as the orders. So what are orders? Orders क्या होते हैं? Why we are having the orders in CPC when there is already sections present? क्योंकि जो चीज sections में लिखी है उसी का ही manifestation is you can find under the orders of CPC, right? जो चीजें suppose execution section में लिखा हुआ है वही चीज आपका 24 order 21 में भी लिखा हुआ है. So why there is orders in CPC? Yes, Saurabh, ठीक है. All right, Natisha. So basically, orders are what? Orders are just a chapterization, right? Okay. जो चीज आपके सेक्शंस में लिखा हुआ है वही पर्टिकुलर चीज आपके चैप्टर वाइज में दे रखा है और उनको आपने ऑर्डर्स का नाम दे दिया. ऑर्डर्स एंड रूल्स, राइट? सपोज प्लेंट, राइट? प्लेंट, प्लीडिंग्स, ऑर्डर 1, राइट? ओके, ठीक है. ऑर्डर 10. So this is what? This is the chapterization of the sections of the particular topics, and उसी में आपके सब रूल्स दे रखे हैं. ओके, राइट? So CPC में what is most important is your cause of action. अब cause of action क्या होता है? For cause of action you have to have a legal right, right? तो आपके पास suppose this is the A. Now A is having a legal right, right? He is having a legal right. Okay, तो ये legal right उसको मिला कहां से? From where did he get this legal right? Tell me. By law. ठीक है, it is conferred by law, right? Legal right is conferred by law. All right, ठीक है. And if this legal right got violated, if violated, अगर ये violate हो जाता है, then what will happen? Then you will have a cause of action, right? Then you will get cause of action. Okay, because for if there is a cause of action, if your legal right is violated, then there is what? Ubi jus, ibi remedium, right? ubi just EB remedium. What is this ubi just EB remedium? Yes Gunjan, ठीक है. Where हाँ, where there is a right, there is a remedy, right? Where there is a right, where there is a right, there is a remedy, right? But that remedy has to be an effective remedy. That is why we are having what? Specific relief act, right? Because sometimes no doubt you are having the remedy in substantive law, but sometimes that remedy is not sufficient. Therefore you have to take refuge from specific relief act, because the remedy, that is okay, you are having the remedy, but that has to be an effective remedy, right? That is why we are having a specific relief act. Okay, so for that, where there is a right, there is a remedy, right? And if there is a remedy, for that you will be filing what? Suit, right? So for that you will file a suit, and that is a civil suit. Okay, that is a civil suit. So this is how one party will file a civil suit. Why he will be filing a civil suit? Because he is having a legal right, and that legal right got violated, right? So therefore he has a right to walk, right? He has a right to have a sound sleep, right? I am having a right that no one should dispossess me. Why? Because I am entitled to this premises. But if you dispossess me, then my legal right got violated. So therefore that will raise what? That will leads to a cause of action. For so everywhere there is a right, there is a remedy. Ubi just ab remedium. Okay, suppose कि someone has किसी ने मेरी लैंड को कब्जा कर लिया, राइट? ओके, किसी ने ट्रेसपास करके मेरी एक लैंड जो कि ग्रेटर नोएडा में है, सपोज माय लैंड इज इन ग्रेटर नोएडा एंड समवन हैज कैप्चर्ड दैट लैंड इलीगली. तो क्या मैं उधर जाके उसको बाहर फेंक सकता हूँ? कैन आई रिमूव हिम? कैन आई डिस्पोजेस हिम बाय माय ओन? टेल मी. What remedy at that point of time I am having? What remedy I am having at that point of time? If someone has captured my land illegally, then what remedy I do have? Yes Gunjan, correct. बताइए. Yes ऊर्जा ठीक है, परीक्षा ठीक है. Okay, तो इस केस में what will be my cause of action? Tell me. Your right is violated. Can I file under section 6 over here? No, under 6 SRA? No. Can I file under 6 SRA? Gunjan, you are absolutely wrong. All of you to please tell me section 6 SRA. Section 6 SRA, for that there has to be a dispossession. Over here I am not dispossessed. There is a land which is vacant over there. Okay, I have not been physically dispossessed. So therefore I cannot file within section 6 of SRA. For section 6 there has to be an actual dispossession, right? And I should prove that I have been into a settled possession, that I am a settled possession and I have been actually dispossessed. Then only the cause of action will arise for section 6, otherwise not. So therefore you will be filing under section 5. Okay, all right. Order and the section order. I will be coming to that point also. Okay, is it clear? All right. So what is hampered over here is that you are having a legal right, and that legal right got violated. That legal right got violated, and for that there is a ubi just EB remedium. Wherever there is a right, there is a remedy, and for that remedy, you will be filing what? Suit, civil suit, right? For that remedy you will be filing a civil suit. and for that the trial will start, and then entire set of proceeding will be done, right? After trial there will be what? Judgment, and for that judgment there will be execution, या फिर or the person may go in appeal, right? Or he may go in revision or review, and thereafter there may be an execution, right? Good evening, Deepika. Good evening. You are late. You are very late. What happened? अब देखो, suppose that you are a very law abiding citizen, right? You are a law abiding citizen, but your legal right got violated. Legal right got violated. So what you will be doing? You will file a plaint, right? First of all, you will be present. You will present your plaint, right? So plaint will be filed. Okay, plaint file करोगे आप. After filing the plaint, you will appear. Okay, or before appearing, there will be an office objection. Office objection, right? Office objections क्या होते हैं? Tell me, what are office objections? That if there is any mistake in your plaint, for example, you have not filed the correct value, the correct court fees. अगर आपने court fees सही नहीं डाली है, yes, अगर नाम सही नहीं है, defendant का पता सही नहीं है, if there is any objections, yes, any kind of mistakes, then the office objection will be raised, and for once the office objection is raised, then you will be given 7 days time to correct that thing, right? 7 दिन का time मिलेगा, right? Thereafter, once you have corrected it, then the summons will be issued. Then the summons will be issued, right? Once you have corrected the office objection within 7 days, then summons will be issued to the defendant, right? Okay, ठीक है. Defendant को कितने दिन के अंदर आना पड़ेगा? Tell me. Within how many days he has to file the written statement? Tell me. Yes, Preeti, correct. Deepika, see, this class is interactive class, right? So I will be asking you questions and you have to write it down. Okay. Yes, 30 days generally. 30 days, right? Within 30 days, he will be filing a written statement, right? Okay. Okay. Suppose there are 10 defendants. In total, there are 10 defendants. So therefore, for that 10 defendants, plaintiff has to file as many copies as are the defendant. Agar 10 defendant hai, then plaintiff has to file 10 copies to each the defendant, right? 1 copy each to the defendant. If there are 10 defendants, 20 defendants, then 1 copy each has to be sent to the all defendants. Okay, is it clear? ठीक है. Now suppose if that person does not come, if the defendant does not come or does not appear, अगर वो नहीं आता है on the first day, then what court will be doing? Tell me. ठीक है. All right, Saurav. If suppose defendant does not come, if he does not appear on the day, on the first date, then in that case, what the court will be doing? Generally, the court will give another time, right? The court will give another hearing, but the court is also competent. The court is also competent to proceed ex parte, yes, right? The court is also competent to proceed ex parte, right? For that, the court has to examine ki whether that the summons were served actually within the time or not, right? So that is given under which provision? Tell me. बताइए. Ex parte. Ex parte. Actually मैं आंसर Tell me. Gunjan wrong. Deepika wrong. Saurav correct. बताइए. Natisha wrong. Ex parte proceedings initiate कर सकता है. The court can go to ex parte. Okay, Garima is looking into Bail Act. बताइए. चलो, you may use Bail Act. आंसर बता दो. So that is order 9, rule 6, clause 1, subclause A. Okay. Yes, Kritika, very good. So for that, order 9, rule 6, clause 1, subclause A, over here A, court will examine कि क्या defendant को within time summons serve हो गए थे या नहीं. So the court will examine that whether the defendant have been served the summons within the time or not. And if yes, then the court may go for ex parte. And the students who were saying order 9, rule 13, that is the setting aside of the ex parte. Okay. Order 9, 13 में तो setting aside होता है. You can go for setting aside of ex parte under order 9, rule 13. Whereas the court has a discretion over here under order 9, rule 6, clause 1, subclause A, right? So if defendant does not appear, if he does not appear on the first date, the court may go for ex parte. But generally ऐसा होता नहीं है. Generally ऐसा नहीं होता है. Court gives some extra time, right? Okay. ठीक है. Now suppose the written statement is also filed. Okay, right? तो अब क्या करेगा कोर्ट हमेशा चेक करेगा. कोर्ट will always look for that whether there are chances for settlement or not between the parties, right? Court will always examine. Why to go for the litigation when the court see that there are chances for mediation, arbitration, or the lok adalat, right? So if the court see that the parties can amicably decide their dispute, then the court will always send them to the arbitration or mediation or lok adalat, right? Right. So that is given under order 10. Order 10. So court will examine कि क्या इनके बीच में amicably dispute resolve हो सकता है, right? ADR के through, right? ठीक है. So court will always examine this, right? तो parties को examine करेगा और court will check कि ADR possible है या नहीं. Okay, and if it is possible, then the court will send the parties to the ADR, right? Yes, section 89, absolutely correct, Deepika, very good. Okay, right? उसके बाद if it is not possible or if it fails, then the court will frame the issues, right? Court will frame the issues, or after settlement of issues, the trial will commence. You can say that after settlement of issues, the trial will commence, and after hearing both the parties, plaintiff and the defendant, the court will conclude, the court will give the judgment. Okay, so the court will not arbitrarily give the judgment, rather the court will do the balance between the plaintiff right and the defendant right. Why? Because judgment, justice is what? Doing balancing, right? That if I do not give this relief, then what could be the loss that plaintiff may have, and whether it is irreparable loss. And same goes with the defendant कि अगर मैंने ये relief नहीं दिया तो क्या plaintiff को क्या loss हो सकता है, and whether that loss is irreparable loss or not. And if I grant this relief to the plaintiff, then what could be the loss the defendant may have, and whether that loss is irreparable loss or not. So over here the court will do the balancing. Okay, the court always do the balance between the parties' rights. Okay, is it clear? Tell me, my dear students, any doubt so far? All right, I believe that this point is clear. So now let me tell you that what topics that we are going to cover today. Right, first of all, we will be examining that what is cause of action, who are parties, right? Parties, cause of action, subject matter of the suit. These are the basic elements, right? We will be discussing it. Subject matter of suit. Next, the relief. Okay, all right. In this relief, I will be explaining that what is remedy and what is relief. क्या दोनों में कोई difference है या नहीं? Remedy or relief. So in this we will be discussing that, right? The title, what do you mean by title? Okay, the concept of matters in issue. All right, so these are the topics for today that we are going to discuss. These are very basics, however it is very important, right? It is very important. You must understand that what do you mean by cause of action, what is relief, what is title, what is matter in issue. These are very important for section 11 also. Section 11 is res judicata, right? Okay, so for that, let us start with the cause of action. Cause of action. Now, you please tell me that what is cause of action? बताइए. ठीक है. All right, Gunjan. Shivani, all right. Yes, Manoj Kumar Mishra, Ashish. Tell me, all of you do answer. Gaurav, Krishna, Krupa, Neha. Let me see who all are new today. Sapteshwara is our student. Stephen. Okay, Vinita. Yes. You all kindly write down your answer. Let me read your answers. Shivani, ठीक है. Preeti, one is having legal right and someone violates that right. ठीक है. Deepika, right of one party and deny by other, violated. Soumya, ठीक है. Natisha, where there is a violation of legal right. ठीक है. Amrita, ठीक है. Urja, very good. ठीक है. So as you all know that we have already discussed that cause of action, right? That I have a legal right, right? मेरे को legal right कहाँ से आया? Law had conferred, right? Law ने दिया मुझे legal right. So I have a legal right and you violated that legal right. आपने violate कर दिया. So therefore it leads to what? Cause of action. But what if Mr. A very happy man, Mr. A, he writes a plaint. Okay, उसने plaint draft करा, but he omitted to mention the cause of action. उसने cause of action ही नहीं लिखा. Then what will happen? If you do not disclose your cause of action in your plaint, then what will happen in such case? Yes, Shivani, correct. Very good, Shivani. Tell me the provision. Preeti, correct. Tell me the provision. If you have not mentioned, आपने cause of action में सब plaint में you have mentioned each and everything, but the main point you have not mentioned. Yes, tell me the clause also, Preeti. Will it get rejected or will it get returned? Rejection होगा या return होगा? Return or reject. Now I have given you option. Now you are changing your answer. आपके ऊपर एस्टॉपल लगना चाहिए, राइट? ओके, मानसी करेक्ट है, नतीशा करेक्ट है, सौम्य इनकरेक्ट है, शिवानी करेक्ट, अमृता करेक्ट, सौरभ करेक्ट, ऊर्जा एब्सोल्युटली रॉन्ग, प्रीति करेक्ट. Yes, so all of you do answer. Priyanka wrong, Urja correct, Natisha correct. So it will be rejected under order 7 rule 11. Okay, clause A. To be precise, clause A. Under order 7, rule 11, if you have not disclosed your cause of action, then the plaint shall be rejected. आपका plaint reject हो जाएगा. Okay, rejection of the plaint. And this rejection of the plaint is what? Is it a order or a decree? ये भी बता दो. The rejection of the plaint is what? Is it order or is it a decree? कहाँ लिखा होगा? Where it is written? बता दो, सब बता दो. This is also a question which was asked. Lot of time it is asked. Yes, very good, Mr. Saurav. Very good. Kritika correct. Gunjan correct. Natisha, let me repeat. देखो, my question is that this rejection. So this rejection, is it an order or is it a decree? Rejection of the plaint. So rejection of the plaint is the decree under section 2 clause 2. Okay. So mind it, this is a decree. Rejection of the plaint is a decree, not the order. आपका marks कम आएंगे फिर. ठीक है, इसको ध्यान रखना. It is a what? So तुक्के हर वक्त काम नहीं आते, right? Always be precise. Be precise, right? ठीक है. So over here, if Mr. A does not mention or omitted to mention his cause of action, then the plaint shall be rejected under order 7 rule 11 clause A, right? But suppose if you do not or if you are not able to prove your cause of action, आपने mention करा है, you have mentioned your cause of action in your plaint, but you are not able to prove it, then what will happen? You are not able to prove your cause of action. Then Preeti, absolutely correct. Very good, Preeti. Shivani, absolutely wrong. You are also wrong, Garima. Yes, the new students, you may also write. आप भी लिख सकते हैं. गुंजन, बताइए. सुब्रता, विनीता, यामिनी, tell me. Mansi, if you are not able to prove, right, let me write it, that suppose if you are not able to prove the cause of action, then your plaint, what, not the plaint, rather than the suit will be dismissed. Okay, dismissal of the suit. Okay, if you could not prove your cause of action, then suit will be dismissed. Suit will be dismissed. Okay, it is not rejected. Rejected नहीं आएगा. आपने अपने एविडेंस दिए, डिफेंडेंट ने अपने एविडेंस दिए, बट यू कुड नॉट प्रूव इट, तो रिजेक्ट थोड़ी होगा, रिटर्न भी नहीं होगा. रादर इट विल बी डिसमिस्ड एंड द सूट विल बी हर्ड एंड फाइनली डिसाइडेड. राइट, द सूट विल बी हर्ड एंड फाइनली डिसाइडेड. कृपा डू सेंड मी अ मैसेज on my WhatsApp. Okay, if any one of you want the recording, then do send me a message on my WhatsApp. All right, next thing. So this cause of action is what? The cause of action is the foundation, right? Cause of action is the foundation, क्योंकि इसके बेस पे ही आपका सूट चलेगा, right? If there is no cause of action, there cannot be any suit. The plaint shall be rejected and it will be what? It will be a decree. Okay, right? So the cause of action is the foundation, and over here you will be writing that my right got violated and therefore I go to the court, and over there I will prove that I have a legal right and he violated that right. Okay, right? Suppose, for example, this is the very beautiful property. A was having this property, right? But some Mr. B, a mischievous person, he disposes A. Okay, so now A will be having a cause of action, right? A will have A के लिए पास A के पास cause of action आएगा. What cause of action he will be having? Tell me. That I have a legal right. What is the legal right? Right to possess, right? Okay. So इसमें आपका क्या legal right क्या होगा? What would be the legal right? Tell me. क्या आप ओनरशिप बोलोगे इसमें? टाइटल बोलोगे? नो. नहीं नहीं. My question is, what is legal right over here? Yes, Shivani correct. Priksha correct. Gunjan correct. That is, I have a right to possess. Right? Legal right over here will be I have a right, or you can say legal right to possess, right? And this person, this learned B dispossess me, right? B dispossess me. So therefore this leads to what? Cause of action. Okay. But अगर आपने cause of action ही नहीं बताया अपने plaint में, then it will be what? It will be rejected. If no cause of action, then plaint shall be rejected. Plaint shall be rejected. If no cause of action, if you have omitted, if you have not written, if you have not disclosed the cause of action, then the plaint shall be rejected. Dismissal तो तब होगा जब you are unable to prove. Okay, right? So cause of action is the center, and the entire suit revolve around the cause of action. Okay, right? Cause of action is what? That is a center where the suit revolve around the cause of action. And आपने अगर center ही नहीं बताया तो फिर suit कैसे चलेगा? Court is not able to know the actual dispute, that what is the actual dispute. This is a dispute that I have a legal right and you violated, right? अगर court को dispute ही नहीं पता तो फिर how the proceeding will be done, right? How it will be conducted. So therefore, if you have not disclosed your cause of action, then the plaint shall be rejected under order 7 rule 11 clause A. Order 7 rule 11 clause A. ठीक है, right? तो यहां पर ये दोनों चीजें होनी चाहिए. So you can say that in cause of action there are two elements. What are the two elements? That one, I have a legal right, and second, he violated that legal right. And you have to prove both the elements. And how you are going to prove that I have a legal right? आप कैसे प्रूव करोगे कि आपको ये लीगल राइट मिला कैसे? How did you get this legal right? You are going to prove it by showing that I got this legal right through succession. मेरे को मेरे पिताजी के थ्रू ये प्रॉपर्टी आई है, सो इसलिए मैं ओनर बन गया, और जब मैं ओनर बन गया तो मेरे को लीगल राइट है टू पोजेस, राइट? ओके, इज इट क्लियर? ऑल राइट मिस्टर दिस इज लोहित. ओके, all right, students have joined late. All right, not an issue. Let me do a bit of recap, right? I can understand. देखो, over here what I was explaining is that the cause of action is very very important for a person to prove, right? Cause of action, you can understand that it is the center where the whole suit revolves around the center, right? And what is cause of action? that I have a legal right, मेरे पास अधिकार है, I have a legal right, and you or the defendant has violated that legal right. So I have to prove both of these elements. कि मेरे को ये legal right मिला कैसे? How did I get this legal right? Right? How did I get this legal right? For that, I have to prove that either I got this legal right because I am the owner. How I become the owner? Either I have purchased the property, either the property might have come due to succession, interstate succession, right? Succession हुआ तो मैं owner बन गया, और owner बन गया तो मेरे को right मिल गया, right to possess, right? या फिर मेरे को किसी ने will बना दी, या फिर किसी ने gift कर दिया. So therefore I become owner of this property, and due to that ownership I got the legal right to possess. So first element तो आपने prove कर दिया. Now the second element, that you actually have to prove that he violated that legal right, that he had dispossessed me. So therefore that is a violation of legal right. Is it clear? Tell me, yahan tak clear hai sabko? Give me a thumbs up so that we can proceed further, or you may write it down also that it is clear. क्लियर गरिमा? एनी डाउट? लिख लो फिर इसमें ना एक पैराग्राफ लिख लो छोटा सा. राइट इट डाउन वन पैराग्राफ. राइट. दैट इज, cause of action always involve, cause of action always involve at least two elements, at least two elements. That is, first, the existence of a legal right, the existence of a legal right, the existence of legal right in the plaintiff. Yes, in the plaintiff. In the plaintiff. Second, the violation of a legal right, the violation of a legal right, of a legal right by the defendant, by the defendant. Okay. The plaintiff will first have to prove, the plaintiff will first have to prove that the said legal right, that the said legal right, that the said legal right existed in him, existed in him, and then he will have to prove, and then he will have to prove, then he will have to prove that the right was violated, that the right was violated, that the right was violated by other party, by other party. Okay, so first he has to prove कि ये legal right मुझ में है, that I have this legal right, and this, then thereafter once you prove that you have the legal right, then you have to prove that other party has violated that legal right. Right? Write down. For example, upon the death of the father, upon the death of the father, one of his sons, one of his sons is in the possession, is in the possession, is in the possession of entire property, of entire property. Okay, right. That one of his sons is in the possession of entire property and is not handing over, and is not handing over, and is not handing over the possession the possession of half of half the property of half of the property to the other son, to the other son, right? So what they are saying, that in example, suppose there is a father is having two sons, fs and fs1. Okay, right? Now suppose this fs1 was having the entire property, having the possession of this entire property. Now this, suppose father dies in this property, and but this property was in the possession of fs1. ठीक है, ये फादर की प्रॉपर्टी थी, but suppose the father dies interstate, right? There was no will, there was no gift, and the father dies interstate. Okay, now what happened, that fs1 was having the entire property in his possession. So once the father dies, so both of them become the owner of the half of the property, right? Due to interstate succession. So therefore fs1 and fs both becomes the owner. And now since fs becomes the owner, becomes the owner, so he will get the what, right to possess, right? So now he becomes the owner, he will get the legal right to possess of half of the property, right? Half of the property, not on the entire property, right? So he will get the right to possess on half of the property. Okay, but when fs claim this entire, when fs claim the half, when fs claim the possession of the half property, fs1 denies कि मैं नहीं दूंगा. So therefore there is a cause of action arose, right? Now the cause of action arose in fs, that I have a legal right to possess of half of the property, and second, the denial of that right by the defendant. He is denying to give me the possession of the half of the property. Why? Because I am the owner. Due to interstate succession, I am the owner of the half of the property, and since I am the owner, I have a right to possess on half of the property, which was denied by fs1. So therefore you can say there is a cause of action arose. Clear? Tell me, is it clear? You may give me a thumbs up also, or you may write it down. All right, wonderful. I'm seeing so many thumbs up. ठीक है, ठीक है. All right, one question is there. One student is asking that, sir, fs will excuse me, sir, fs will also have a right to ownership. The answer is yes. fs will also become the owner, because f dies, so therefore his property will devolve half to fs and half to the fs1 because of interstate succession, right? All right, Priksha, because of interstate succession he becomes the owner of this property, and since he becomes the owner, in his right accrues in him, right to possess on half of the property. तो अब वो ओनर बन गया, तो उसको अब ये अधिकार मिल जाएगा, राइट मिल जाएगा, राइट टू possess on the half of the property, not on the entire property. But when he claims back his possession, the other brother, he denies that मैं नहीं दूंगा, I will not give you back. So now you can say that there is a cause of action, right? So this is how you have to prove that how did you get the legal right. So he will say that I got the legal right because of interstate succession, and due to which I become the owner of the half of the property. Okay, clear? Shall I dictate you now? All right, then do one thing, I will dictate you after the break. Okay, take a break of 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that. I'm pausing this recording. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So before going to break, I have given you a situation that where one of the person was father and he died intestate and he is having two sons, and one of the son has the possession of the entire property, right? However, the other son is also becomes the owner due to interstate succession, but the right to possess that he is having a legal right to possess, that was denied by the FS1. Okay, so write down upon the death upon the death of the father, upon the death of father, the property the property automatically automatically inherited by both the sons, inherited by both the sons, by both the sons in equal portions, in equal portions. FS therefore also inherited half the property, half the property, and thereby he become and thereby he became and thereby he became you tell me, can you hear me now? There might be technical issue. All right. So what I was saying that and thereby he became the owner of that half property. Due to that ownership, he gets the right. Due to that ownership, he gets the right to possess that property. That property. Thus, the cause of action is as follows. Thus, the cause of action is as follows. That would be first, the legal right to possess is as follows. The legal right to possess, the legal right to possess half the property of father, half the property of father, of father. Second, the denial of that right, the denial of that right, the denial of that right to him by FS1. That is the defendant. That is defendant. Okay, right? Okay. Here, no doubts the succession. Here, no doubt succession and consequent ownership. Succession and consequent ownership. Ownership is the reason behind. Is the reason behind the right to possess. Is the reason behind the right to possess The actual right that the plaintiff has, the actual right that the plaintiff that the plaintiff has is the right to possess, is the right to possess, is the right to possess, right? So over here my dear students, जो जो चीज आपको ये राइट दे रही है, right, the thing which is giving you the right to possess, that thing will be called what? Matter in issue. So matter in issue would be what? The ownership and the succession will be the matter in issue. So ownership and succession will be the matter in issue, matter in issue. Okay, will be matter in issue. But the legal right involved, but the legal right involved is the right to possess, is the right to possess. All right, Natisha, from where you want me to scroll? Tell me. लिख लो. So tell me, is it clear? तो जो आपको ये legal right दे रहा है, the thing which is creating the legal right, that will be a matter in issue, that how you have this legal right. So that is the matter in issue, right? Natisha, लिख लिया आपने? Done? All right. From here I have dictated. You may take a screenshot. Saurav, Lilia, and this is the last line. Ownership and succession. Garima, you are using phone. Ownership and succession will be the matter in issue, but the legal right involved is the right to possess. Okay, right? I believe that you have written everything. Now let us proceed further. अब देखो इसमें father was having a two son FS and FS1. Okay, so FS1 was having the entire property and he is not giving. So therefore, since father died, so due to this interstate succession, FS become the half, FS becomes the owner of the half of property, and FS1 also becomes the owner of half of the property, right? But suppose FS1 keeps this entire property for 2 years. For 2 years, 2 साल तक उसने अपने पास ये पूरी प्रॉपर्टी रखी, and he had all the income for 2 years. उसने वो सारी इनकम भी अपने पास रखी, right? So what FS is claiming, FS is claiming the possession of half of the property, and not only the possession, rather the half of the income for 2 years, right? Okay, so he will be claiming the possession of the half of the property, and he will also claim the income, that is half of the income. Okay, so here you can say, you please tell me that what is the matter in issue over here? What will be the matter in issue? Tell me, write it down fast. मैटर इन इशू क्या है? बताइए, जस्ट अभी मैंने आपको बताया. दीपिका इनकरेक्ट, सप्तेश्वर करेक्ट, गुंजन इनकरेक्ट, ऊर्जा ठीक है, प्रियांक इनकरेक्ट, शिवानी ठीक है, सौरभ इनकरेक्ट। देखो मैटर इन इशू इज दैट थिंग विच क्रिएट द लीगल राइट इन यू। So over here, what is the thing which created the legal right? That is, you are not understanding. What is the thing which created the legal right in you? That is succession. Succession की वजह से ही तो आप ओनर बने हो, उसकी वजह से ही तो आपके पास अधिकार आया है। So matter in issue is the succession, and due to that you become the owner, and hence you become the owner, you have the legal right to possess on the half of the property, right? So matter in issue, that is, you can say the succession or the ownership, right? Okay, so that is succession or ownership is the reason behind the possession. So that is, your possession is your legal right, succession and ownership is your matter in issue. Legal right is your possession. So this matter in issue creates the legal right in you. So matter in issue is the reason behind the legal right. ठीक है, समझ में आया? Matter, therefore you can say that matter in issue is the reason behind that legal right. ठीक है, पिंकेश, is it clear? Natisha, Mansi, Kritika, Gunjan, Deepika, Aisha, Amrita, Manoj Kumar Mishra, clear to everyone? Priyank, Stephen, Saurav, very good, wonderful. Write it down in this, write it down. That is the source from which the legal right originates. The source from which the legal right originates in itself will not be considered will not be considered will not be considered to be the cause of action, to be the cause of action. Rather the source rather the source rather the source is the matter in issue, is the matter in issue. Matter in issue, that is succession, purchase, gift deed can be the source, gift deed can be the source, can be the source of existence of a legal right, of a legal right, but in itself but in itself they cannot be the legal right, they cannot be the legal right. So अब पता चल गया what is matter in issue. Is it clear to everyone that what is matter in issue? Shall I ask you a question? पूछूं? ठीक है, let me ask you a question. See, as you all know that I am having this right to possess, right? And Garima, Miss Garima had dispossessed me, suppose. So I have a legal right. So for that, what is the matter in issue for that legal right? Tell me. ये जो मेरा legal right है, right to possess this property, right? What is the matter in issue for this legal right? Preeti, you are absolutely wrong. I have a legal right to possess this property. Shivani, wrong. You are partially wrong. Soumya, you are wrong. Gunjan, you are wrong. All right. I have one answer. Amrita, right. Preeti, ठीक है. Priksha, right. All right. You might be not aware. You might be not aware. That is why you are saying ownership. See, I am not the owner of this premises. I have taken this on rent. So therefore, the rent agreement will be what? My matter in issue. Right? Rent agreement की वजह से तो मुझे ये right मिला है, right to possess. The students who are saying ownership, that is also correct. However, I am not the owner of this premises. I have this institute on rent. Okay. So therefore, I am the tenant over here. So since I am the tenant, I have a right to possess. Okay. Since I am the tenant, so I have a legal right to possess, but you dispossess me. So how I will prove? So I will prove that how did I get this right to possess due to rent agreement. तो मैं आपको अपना रेंट एग्रीमेंट दिखा दूंगा कि इस रेंट एग्रीमेंट की वजह से मेरे को राइट टू पोजेस मिला है. So right to rent agreement will be what? Matter in issue. ठीक है. So for example, आप लिख लो ये वाला एग्जांपल खुद से. आपने लिख लिया होगा. टेल मी, लिख लिया आपने? लिख लो. Right. Suppose this is me. So right now I have this property on rent. I have a legal right to possess, but Garima dispossessed me. So therefore, my legal right got violated. But how come I get this legal right? Due to the rent agreement. So therefore, rent agreement is my matter in issue. Right? Okay. So therefore, rent agreement is the matter in issue. Okay. Right? And this legal right is what? Possessory right. Possessory right. I have a right to possess. Possessory right. That is right to possess. तो ये right to possess मुझे कहां से मिला है? I got this right to possess due to what? Rent agreement. Okay, clear? Any doubt so far? Tell me. If it is clear, give me a thumbs up, or you may write also. All right, I can see only my students are there. ठीक है. Only one or two new students is there. Rest my regular students are here. Very good. ठीक है. So now देखो इसमें आपका cause of action, again I'm coming to the cause of action. Since देखो I'm taking lot of time on cause of action. Why? Because that is very 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 important for you to understand that what is actually a cause of action. So cause of action क्या होता है? That I have a legal right, right? Legal right. Okay. And that is first, I have a legal right. Second, violation of this legal right. So this you have to prove. You have to prove that how come you are having a legal right. For that you have to prove the matter in issue, right? कि आपको matter in issue क्या है. But sometimes, for example, if we talk about contract, अगर हम contract की बात करेंगे, and that too you have to perform something, right? Suppose there are two best friends, Mr. Ramu and Mr. Shamu. Okay. Now they entered into a contract for purchasing of this property, right? They entered into a contract for purchasing this property. रामू को 50 लाख रुपीस देने थे एंड शामू को अपनी प्रॉपर्टी देनी थी, राइट? ओके, ऑल राइट प्रीति, वेरी गुड. सो व्हाट हैपेंड ओवर हियर दैट 50 लाख रुपीस रामू को देने थे और प्रॉपर्टी शामू को देना था. नाउ सपोज शामू कमिट्स अ ब्रीच. ओके, शामू ने ब्रीच कर दिया. सो देयरफॉर इसका क्या कॉज ऑफ एक्शन होगा? व्हाट विल बी द कॉज ऑफ एक्शन फॉर रामू? नाउ यू प्लीज टेल मी, बताइए, थोड़ा टाइम लीजिए और फिर बताइए. कॉज ऑफ एक्शन क्या होता है? लीगल राइट एंड वायलेशन ऑफ दैट लीगल राइट. नाउ टेल मी, व्हाट इज द कॉज ऑफ एक्शन? टेक योर टाइम एंड देन टेल मी. नहीं 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 नहीं, नहीं. ओके नतीशा, ओके स्टीफन. All right, Deepika, let me tell you once again. I believe you are confused with the name. Let me change the name. Suppose this is Amrita and this is Preeti. अब ठीक है, राइट? अब मैं दोबारा से अपने वाले एग्जांपल्स में आ गया हूं. सपोज दिस इज अमृता एंड प्रीति. अमृता को 50 लाख रुपीस देने थे और प्रीति को अपना घर देना था, राइट? ओके, बट सपोज प्रीति, like always, she committed a breach. Okay, so if Preeti commits a breach, so what is the cause of action Amrita will be having? Tell me. Yes Preeti, ठीक है. Let me read your answers. प्रीति ठीक है आपका आंसर. ओके प्रीक्षा. ओके ऊर्जा. दीपिका करेक्ट है. ओके सप्तेश्वरा. ऑल राइट अमृता, ठीक है. ऑल राइट दीपिका, ठीक है. यस गरिमा. गुंजन. देखो इसमें ओवर हेयर the cause of action would be what? First of all, you will be telling that there was a valid contract, right? पहले तो आप ये बताओगे there was a valid contract, so therefore you have a right to perform, right? Okay, ठीक है. So therefore you will be saying that there was a valid contract. First you will prove this, right? Existence of contract. Existence of contract. First you will prove this element, existence of contract, and second you will prove that he committed a breach of contract, right? That he committed a breach. But whenever it comes about specific performance, you have to mention the third element also. एक third element और है इसमें, क्योंकि आप अमृता क्या बोलेगी? अमृता बोलेगी that I am ready and willing to pay my 50 lakh rupees, right? तो ये भी आपको प्रूफ करना पड़ेगा that that plaintiff, I am ready and willing to perform my part of contract. Okay, right? So you have to prove the third element over here, that is I am Yes, can you hear me? All right. So third point is that I am ready and willing to perform my part of contract, right? तो आपको ये प्रूव करना पड़ेगा कि पहले भी रेडी था और आज भी रेडी है. सो देन ओनली द स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस कैन बी ग्रांटेड, राइट? कि अमृता को ये प्रूव करना पड़ेगा कि देखो मेरे 50 लाख रुपीस का लोन अप्रूव्ड हो चुका है, या फिर 50 लाख रुपीस मेरे अकाउंट में है, राइट? आई हैव बीन रेडी एंड आई एम रेडी ऑल्सो राइट नाउ एंड विलिंग टू परफॉर्म, कि मैं अपना पार्ट परफॉर्म करना चाहती हूँ या चाहता हूँ, बट ये परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहे, he or she had committed the breach, right? So third point is very very important. Okay, so in such types of contract there are three elements in cause of action: existence of contract, second breach of contract, and third that I was ready and willing to perform my part of contract, and I am ready also right now also. Okay, so write down. Matter and issue, yes, tell me. The contract itself, the matter and issue is the contract जो आपके बीच में contract हुआ है, right? ठीक है. So is it clear up till now? Yes. Manoj Kumar Mishra, Amrita, Aisha, Gunjan, Kritika, Mansi, Natisha, Naveen, Pinkesh, Preeti, Priksha, Priyank, Priyanka, Sapteshwara, Shivani, Soumya, Stephen, Urja, Yamini. Very good. लिखो इसमें, write it down. In the case of suit for specific performance, in the case of suit for specific performance of contract, apart from the existence of contract and breach of contract, is also required, and breach of contract is also required as a part of cause of action, as a part of the cause of action, that the plaintiff must declare that he is and has been ready and willing to perform, his part of contract. Okay, ठीक है. So now before proceeding further, let me tell you the topics that what we are going to cover. Let me tell you the syllabus, right? The topics keh lo ya syllabus keh lo, because it is very lengthy, and I believe now I can dictate you so that we can later on we will be starting with the fresh topic. Okay, so is it clear up till now? Yahan tak clear hai? Because now I am going to dictate you the syllabus or the topics. Dekho, Garima is asking one question, that what is basically the difference between order and sections, right? This is what you are asking. देखो sections बहुत ही कंसाइज्ड फॉर्म में लिखे होंगे, राइट? और वही चीज, सेम चीज इज मेंशन्ड एक्सप्रेसली इन द ऑर्डर्स. ओके, सो यू कैन से दैट ऑर्डर्स आर चैप्टराइजेशन ऑफ सेक्शन, बट जरूरी नहीं है कि जो सेक्शन यहां पर 158 में से है उसका सेम या फिर उसका एक काउंटर पार्ट का ऑर्डर होगा, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी। ओके, जरूरी नहीं है कि अगर आपको जो सेक्शंस में मिल रहा है वही चीज आपको ऑर्डर्स में भी मिलेगा, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी। ओके, ठीक है, ऑल राइट। सो राइट डाउन द टॉपिक्स, राइट डाउन द टॉपिक्स। एलिमेंट्स ऑफ सिविल सूट, elements of civil suit. Over here we already have a basic discussion, right? Basic discussion, elements of civil suit. इसमें we have discussed that what is cause of action, right? Over here, cause of action, parties. Parties, we will be discussing that who are parties, what is title, right? What is plaint, we will be discussing it. Okay, thereafter, next topic is, that is difference between plaint and suit. Difference between plaint and suit. Okay, that what is plaint, what is suit, right? Thereafter we will be discussing that requirement of affidavit along with the pleadings. Requirement of affidavit, right? आपने देखा होगा कि कोई भी एप्लीकेशन आप फाइल करते हो, right? If you file any application, you have to support it with the affidavit, right? Affidavit आप फाइल करते हो, right? So in this we will be discussing section 26, order 1 rule 15. Okay, order 1 rule 15 also, that is verification of pleading, not order 1, rather order 6, order 6 rule 15. Okay, that is verification of pleading. Okay, Urja is asking, sir, is it wakalatnama? Nahi. Wakalatnama is different thing. Wakalatnama is that you are contesting the case on behalf of your client. That client has authorized you to contest his case. Yes, affidavit तो basically आप declare कर रहे हो कि जो चीज मैंने लिखी है वो सही है मेरी knowledge के लिए. According to my knowledge, it is true. Verification of pleading. Okay. Yes, Deepika, very good. Next, we will discuss that whenever you file, over here only, that whenever you file any pleading, you will be supporting it with the affidavit. That why there is a need of having affidavit. So over here we will discuss the case Salem Advocate Bar Association, Tamil Nadu versus Union of India. That was 2005 Supreme Court. This is the landmark judgment on it. We will be discussing it in detail. It was delivered by 3 judges bench. Judgment delivered by Y.K. Sabharwal. Honorable Y.K. Sabharwal Justice. Okay. Y.K. Sabharwal Justice. After discussing the Salem Advocate Bar Association Tamil Nadu versus Union of India, we will be starting the main topics of CPC. That is section 9. Now, section 9. Very important. So you can say that section 9 is the gateway. Right? इसमें हम discuss करेंगे that what do you mean by suit of civil nature? Suit of civil nature. Okay. And Also the express and implied bar, that what do you mean by express or implied bar. So this section 9, very important, we will be discussing it, right? The restrictions over here we will discuss, that what kind of restrictions are there, right? Next we will discuss the triability, that whether it is the court is having a jurisdiction or not. And jurisdiction is of how many types? Territorial, pecuniary, and territorial, pecuniary, and subject matter. Okay. So therefore, we will be discussing this jurisdiction, very important. In this, we will take a reference to section 3, section 6, section 15 till 20, section 9 also. Section 6 is basically pecuniary jurisdiction. Okay. Section 3 is subordination of the court. Okay. Section 9, suit of civil nature. 15 to 20, that is talking about purely about jurisdictions. Okay. Thereafter, we will discuss the objections related to lack of jurisdiction. That if the defendant wants to raise the objection related to jurisdiction, then उसको कब raise करना चाहिए, right? At what time? At what point of time? Section 21, 21A. Very important. We will be discussing it. Next, what we are going to discuss, that if suppose you filed the plaint in wrong court, कि अगर आपने प्लेंट फाइल कर दी किसी रॉन्ग कोर्ट में, then what will happen? Then it will be what? Reject or return? Tell me. ठीक है. Tell me, it will be reject or returned? Yes, absolutely correct. My students are so intelligent. Under which provision? Tell me. Under which provision it will be returned? Yes, you are right that it will be returned, but under which provision? Yes, Saurav, correct. Gunjan, correct. Amrita, wrong. No. CPC. That is order 7, rule 10. Okay, order 7, rule 10. It will be returned. The plaint shall be returned. Okay, right? So over here we will discuss this exhaustively. बहुत अच्छे से इसको सारे provisions के करेंगे. Right? इसमें 10A भी है, rule 7, order 7, rule 10A, 10B. We will be discussing it, 10A and 10B. Thereafter, we will discuss transfer of civil suit. Transfer of civil suit from one court to another. Or इसमें we will discuss that why the court will transfer. Right? So that is given under section 22 till section 25. And over here only we will discuss doctrine of forum convenience. Doctrine of forum convenience. Forum convenience as if कि अगर, if suppose I transfer the suit, suppose you are in Delhi and the other person is in Lucknow, so difference. So if I transfer the suit according to you, then what will be the loss the opposite party will have? And if I do not transfer, then what will be the loss you will be having? And whether such loss is irreparable or not. ठीक है, तो ये आपको देखना पड़ेगा, कोर्ट को एग्जामिन करना पड़ेगा. कोर्ट हैज टू डू बैलेंसिंग, राइट? कोर्ट हैज टू डू बैलेंसिंग. बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा कि अगर मैंने ट्रांसफर करा तो दूसरी पार्टी को क्या लॉस हो सकता है और क्या वो इररिपेरेबल लॉस है या नहीं. right? Suppose if I transfer and that other party could not present his witnesses, then again it is a, tell me, unjust, right? क्योंकि अगर मैंने ट्रांसफर कर दिया from Delhi to Lucknow and due to that the other party could not present his witnesses due to any reason and that reason should be valid, then it is against the justice, right? It is not in the interest of justice. So the court always has to do the balancing, right? तो कोर्ट एग्जामिन करेगा कि अगर ट्रांसफर कर दिया तो क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंस है, ट्रांसफर नहीं करा तो क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंस है, ठीक है? सो दिस इज व्हाट डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ फोरम कन्वीनियंस, वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग इट ओवर हियर, ठीक है? नेक्स्ट, नाउ वी विल बी कमिंग टू रेस जुडिकाटा, द एम्परर ऑफ सीपीसी, राइट? द किंग ऑफ सीपीसी, रेस जुडिकाटा, section 11, very 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 important. I will be taking, I believe, 2 to 3 classes on this res judicata. Very big topic, res judicata. Thereafter, we will be discussing res sub judice. That is section 10, res sub judice. इसी के साथ हम करेंगे ऑर्डर 2 रूल 2 कि एक बार अगर आपने रिलीफ omit कर दिया है, then later on you cannot claim it back. ऑर्डर 2 रूल 2, जितने भी रिलीफ है एक ही बारी में क्लेम करो. अगर आपने कोई omit कर दिया या भूल गए हो तो later on you cannot claim it again, because on such relief order 2 rule 2 will apply. We will be discussing it again. Thereafter, with this only we will start with foreign judgment. Very 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 important, foreign judgment, कि अगर कोई फॉरेन में डिक्री होती है तो उसकी क्या वैलिडिटी होगी इंडिया में between among the same party, right? So this section 13, section 14, okay, and over here section 44A also, okay. 44A, 44A क्या है, tell me. अभी recently one country was declared, I will not tell the term, you all tell me. 44A, एक recently a country was declared to be a dash territory to India. Tell me, fill in the blanks for all of you. Not very recent. Yes, Deepika, absolutely correct. Which country? Naveen, correct. Gunjan, correct. Mansi, correct. No, 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 no. Yes, Naveen, correct. Amrita, correct. I am not sure about it, Priksha. Amrita, correct. So that is section 44A, that is reciprocating territory, right? Reciprocating territory, or recently UAE, Saudi, right? United Arab Emirates. तो इसको डिक्लेयर करा था सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने दैट दिस इज द रेसिप्रोकेटिंग टेरिटरी. अब रेसिप्रोकेटिंग टेरिटरी कौन सी होती है? रेसिप्रोकेटिंग टेरिटरी जहां पर सपोज इफ द डिक्री इज रिलेटेड टू द मनी डिक्री, और अगर गवर्नमेंट ने डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि ये कंट्री रेसिप्रोकेटिंग टेरिटरी है, तो वो कंट्री में अगर डिक्री आती है तो दैट डिक्री कैन डायरेक्टली बी एग्जीक्यूटेड इन इंडिया, ठीक है? बट प्रोवाइडेड दैट हैज टू बी अ मनी डिक्री, ठीक है? मनी डिक्री होना चाहिए, दैट इज द कंडीशन, ओके, राइट? So that is reciprocating territory. We will be discussing it again in foreign judgment, right? We will be discussing it very exhaustively, काफी अच्छे से इसको करेंगे with the current cases, ठीक है? Next, I am also very excited to do CPC. Right? Wait, Shivani, wait. इसके बाद we will be discussing order 1 and order 2. Okay, order 1, order 2. अब इसमें we will be discussing that what is necessary party, what are proper party, necessary party, proper party, right? Concept of joinder, joinder of parties, joinder of plaintiff, joinder of defendant, right? Misjoinder, misjoinder, we will be discussing misjoinder, non joinder. तो अगर मिस ज्वाइंडर होता है या नॉन ज्वाइंडर होता है तो उसमें क्या होगा, राइट? ओके, मल्टीफेरियस सूट, यस, ज्वाइंडर ऑफ पार्टीज, राइट? ओके, the remedy in cases of misjoinder, the remedy in cases of misjoinder, ठीक है? The remedy in cases of misjoinder of suppose cause of action. इसके बाद we will be discussing that what is representative suit. Representative suit, what is representative suit? So that is, representative suit is given under which provision? Tell me, representative suit कौन से provision में दे रखा है? CPC, tell me. Yes, Deepika correct, Gunjan correct, Saurav correct, Preeti correct. So that is order 1 rule 8, right? Order 1 rule 8, representative suit. Suppose if there is a misdescription of a party, कि आपने पार्टी का नाम गलत लिख दिया, so that can be done under which provision? Misdescription. कि अगर आपने पार्टी का नाम अच्छे से नहीं लिखा, ढंग से नहीं लिखा, करेक्टली नहीं लिखा, if you have not written it correctly, then that will be done under which provision? Tell me. Misdescription, बताइए. Order 1 rule 10, right? Order 1 rule 10, order 1 rule 10 to be precise, clause 1, क्योंकि क्लॉज 2 में तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की बात की गई है, राइट? ओके, ऑर्डर 1 रूल 10 क्लॉज 1. so over there you can go for what मिस डिस्क्रिप्शन है तो उसको आप करेक्ट कर सकते हो, ठीक है? उसके बाद वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग द इंटरप्लीडर सूट. अब इंटरप्लीडर सूट इज गिवन अंडर विच प्रोविजन? टेल मी द सेक्शन and the order. Gunjan correct, Deepika correct, very good Deepika. Interpleader suit is given under which provision? Urja incorrect, that is order 35 and section 88, right? Order 35 and section 88. Interpleader suit, very very important, okay, very very important. Interpleader suit, इस पे आपका you can expect your question in your mains also, very very important for your mains. Interpleader suit बहुत easy भी है, not very difficult. Thereafter we will discuss order 6, order 7, order 8, order 9, order 10 plus section 89, order 10 plus section 89, right? So order 6 is what? That general pleadings. Order 6 जो है general pleadings की बात कर रहा है. Order 7 आपका plaint की बात कर रहा है. Order 8 आपका defendant, that is written statement, right? Order 9 की in case अगर party नहीं आता है तो, if the party does not appear, then that is order 9. Order 10, that is the examination that the court will examine. So basically it is of ADR, alternate dispute resolution, right? ठीक है, और इसको section 89 के साथ हम पढ़ेंगे. Thereafter we will discuss order 14 and order 15. Order 14 and order 15. Order 15 क्या है? Order 15 is basically कि that disposal can be done on the very first day, ठीक है? Order 15. Next, we will be discussing that the principles related to pleadings and drafting. I will be giving you the question. First, I will be giving you the sample written statement and plaint, that how to write a plaint, how to write a written statement. Okay. So यहाँ पर we will be discussing principle related to pleadings and the drafting of plaint and written statement right. In this only we will be discussing the rejection of plaint in detail. Rejection of plaint, that is order 7 rule 11, rejection of plaint. Thereafter we will discuss return of plaint 11. Then we will discuss return of plaint, that is order 7 rule 10. This is order 7 rule 11. Okay. Thereafter we will discuss order 6 rule 17, that is amendment of pleading. Okay, that is order 6 rule 17. Thereafter we will discuss that what is the duration in which the written statement can be filed, the duration during which the written statement has to be filed, right? Duration during the written statement has to be filed. We will be discussing that. We will discuss that what if the defendant does not file any written statement, consequence of non-filing, consequence of non-filing of written statement. ठीक है, कि अगर वो written statement फाइल नहीं करता है, then what would be the consequence? Thereafter we will discuss the rules of pleadings, कि आपको अपनी pleading में क्या लिखना है, क्या नहीं लिखना है. Okay, right? The rules of pleading relating to the draft. Okay, relating to a draft. Okay, that is अगर आप written statement की बात करते हो तो the denial should not be evasive, right? The denial should not be evasive, rather it should be particular, point to point denial. और इसी में हम बात करेंगे, we will be discussing about deemed admission. So this deemed admissions is given under which provision of CPC? Tell me, deemed admission बताइए, कि माना जाएगा कि आपने एडमिट करा है. If you have written in your pleadings, in your written statement, Saurav, absolutely correct, very good Saurav. If you have written in your pleading that the defendant does not admit, then also उसको माना जाएगा कि you have admitted, तो उसको बोलेंगे हम the concept of deemed admission, कि अगर defendant ने written statement में लिखा है that defendant does not admit, तब भी आप उसको मान लोगे कि the defendant admit. Where it is written? Order 8 rule 5, deemed admission. मानसी ऑर्डर 7 तो प्लेंट से रिलेटेड है, प्लेंटिफ. ऑर्डर 8 आपका रिटन स्टेटमेंट से रिलेटेड है. ठीक है मानसी, ऑल राइट, ठीक है. सो दिस डीम्ड एडमिशन वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग इट, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट. उसके बाद वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग दैट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सब्सिक्वेंट प्लीडिंग, कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सब्सिक्वेंट प्लीडिंग्स. सब्सिक्वेंट प्लीडिंग्स क्या होती है? What are subsequent pleadings? बताइए, tell me. जैसे कि एडिशनल रिटन स्टेटमेंट, रेप्लिकेशन, रिजॉइंडर, राइट. एडिशनल रिटन, हाँ आप दोबारा से रिप्लाई दे रहे हो उसका, राइट. एडिशनल रिटन स्टेटमेंट या फिर रिजॉइंडर, या फिर रेप्लीकेशन। ओके, ठीक है। देयर आफ्टर वी विल डिस्कस order 8 rule 6, that is what? set of order 8 rule 6a, that is counterclaim. Set of and counterclaim, very important. Okay, thereafter we will discuss the consequence of non-appearance of party. Consequence of non-appearance of party. Party includes your plaintiff or the defendant. Okay, right? तो consequence of non-appearance of party, तो यहां पर court can go for ex parte, right? अगर डिफेंडेंट नहीं आया, द कोर्ट कैन गो फॉर ex parte, ठीक है। और अगर प्लेंटिव नहीं आया तो कोर्ट विल डिसमिस अनटिल एंड अनलेस अगर डिफेंडेंट ने कोई पार्ट क्लेम एडमिट कर लिया है तो उस पार्ट का वो डिक्री दे देगा, और अगर एडमिट नहीं करे तो डिसमिस कर देगा, राइट? यस, ऑर्डर 9, वेरी गुड दीपिका, ठीक है। देयर आफ्टर वी विल डिस्कस द in details what is ex parte, and in this order 8, order 9, rule 6 and order 9 rule 13. Okay, that is setting aside. Okay, setting aside the ex parte, ठीक है। With this we will be discussing with section 5 of limitation act. Okay, section 5 of limitation act. Thereafter we will discuss order 9 in details, सारे उसके rules पढ़ेंगे. Consequence of non-appearance, right? Okay, and we will be relating it with adjournments. Adjournments is given under which provision of CRPC? Now tell me. I haven't asked about CPC, I'm talking about CRPC. CRPC में भी तो adjournment होते हैं. Yes, Gunjan, absolutely correct. Very good. And maximum adjournment can be taken how many? कितने adjournment ले सकते हो आप according to the book? कोई बात नहीं. That is 3. Okay, that is 3. आप सिर्फ तीन बार adjournment ले सकते हो. Whereas in CRPC that is given under 309. Adjournment 309 में ले सकते हो. और यहां पर in CPC order 17. Order 17 talks about adjournment. Okay, so we will be relating order 9 with order 17. ठीक है, right? बहुत ज्यादा सिलेबस है ना. It will take time. It will take time. CPC थोड़ा टाइम लेगा, तकरीबन 2-2.5 महीने लगेंगे. Next, that is section order 10. Order 10, that is ADR. Very important for your interview. We will be discussing it. Very important. Examination of parties by the court, right? So basically court will examine over here कि अगर court को लगता है that the parties can amicably decide their dispute in the ADR, then the court will be sending the parties to the ADR, right? Okay, ठीक है. एंड इसके साथ हम पढ़ेंगे सेक्शन 89. ओके, सेक्शन 89. Thereafter we will discuss the settlement of issues. Settlement of issues, that is given under order 14. Order 14, settlement of issues. Okay, next we will be discussing what? That is disposal of suit at the first hearing. Disposal of suit at the first hearing. So that is given under order 15. कि फर्स्ट हियरिंग पे ही सूट कैन बी डिस्पोज्ड ऑफ, कि मान लो उसने ही मान लिया, डिफेंडेंट एडमिट ऑल द क्लेम, सो द कोर्ट कैन डिस्पोज इट ऑफ, राइट? ठीक है, नाउ डू वन थिंग, आई एम कंक्लूडिंग इट ओवर हियर. The rest of the topics I will be dictating you in our next class, right? बहुत बहुत ज्यादा है इसमें ना, there are so many topics, there is lot of grounds which we have to cover, but we will not be running, we will not run, right? We will not rush, we will be doing very peacefully, right? So now tell me, do you have any doubt in today's class? However, today it was just an introductory class, but in case if you are having any doubt, any questions, you may ask. Yes, Mr. Manoj Kumar Mishra, and there is one more person, Mr. Stephen. Is everything clear? Let me close the recording.